Hello, this is the King of Isopods, and welcome to another midweek terrarium build. This is for Spherical Terrarium build that you can easily do at home. Firstly, you will need to clean and quarantine the plant by rinsing it underwater. You should aim to remove all the dirt and substrate, and also especially rinse the underside of the leaves. Then, you will add a bit of soap and hand sanitizer into the water. You just need to add a little bit so that it acts as a surfactant and it can drown the pests such as spider mites and aphids of your plants. This acts basically as a quarantine method, as I personally prefer not to use bleach. Then you will submerge your plant into the water and keep shaking it. Let it rest for 20 minutes. After that, you will take out your plants and remove as much water as possible. And then you will take it to the sink and rinse it again so that it doesn't have any soap residue. Then you put your plant on a piece of tissue paper to let it air dry a bit, and then trim the root shorter to approximately 3 centimeters. This helps the plant to grow new roots that are more adapted to the terrarium. Now we prepare lava rock for the false bottom layer. The lava rock can help to drain out excess moisture and help the ecosystem to store water. So now the lava rock has been washed to remove any debris and strained dry. And then it will be added to the terrarium carefully to avoid scratching up the glass. Then we will prepare some breathable fabric by peeling off the first layer of the dog toilet sheet. The bottom part will be reused for normal use and put it in the dog toilet tray, while the top part will be used in this terrarium build. It will be washed under the sink and used in the terrarium as a separator net. Because it is made of polyester or plastic, it does not decompose and is very useful and very eco-friendly as it's not discarded and reused. Then the breathable fabric will be cut into size of the terrarium base accordingly and will be placed down. Preferably, the breathable fabric should be a little bit larger than the diameter of the terrarium. Then it can effectively stop any substrate to going down into the false bottom, making it useless, as the false bottom purpose is preventing water from wicking up to the substrate and making it soggy. Then we will prepare some sphagnum moss. This is a New Zealand sphagnum moss and it is in its dry form. Now it's rehydrated. This sphagnum moss will be used to pack up the corners of the breathable fabric so that it doesn't leak and also it looks better for aesthetic purpose. When you press down the edge of the breathable fabric, it allows a better seal and prevent substrate from leaking between the gap of the glass and the breathable fabric. We will spray it down with some water. Then we have some activated carbon powder. This helps to filter the water and reduce the chance of mold. It will be evenly sprinkled at the bottom of the terrarium. So now we will prepare our regular terrarium substrate by using 1 part of akadama 2 parts of potting soil and 1 part of activated carbon, which is on the right. This mix allows the roots to breathe properly even in high humidity and makes it airy and also bioactive enough. Then we will evenly sprinkle in the soil or substrate into the terrarium, aiming to create a slope to increase depth perception, so the terrarium will look bigger than it actually is. It is an optical illusion used in a wide field of terrarium and aquarium building. Then we will spray it wet to rehydrate the substrate and level out the substrate if necessary. Then we will add in some rocks as the hardscape. This is the quartz rock, and it is whitish in color and slightly translucent. Then we will start planting and filling up the terrarium with more plants. We will start with this variegated strawberry begonia, and then a black jewel orchid, also known as a black swan jewel orchid, along with a smaller offspring of the same plant on the side. Jewel orchids does not require you to bury them in the substrate, but they just need to be lightly placed on the substrate. Then we will add in the dwarf strawberry begonia. It is one of the most important plants in my terrariums, as they are very special, slow growing, and small sized, with beautiful foliage. We will add in small pieces and small pieces slowly. This plant is very useful for filling up the corners and between gaps of the hardscape. Then we will add in some Vitonias of various colors. Also some Selaginella. Then we will add in a small inch plant in order to increase the diversity of foliage patterns. This plant thrives in terrarium, but just make sure that there is no water droplets building it up on the leaves. Then we put in a Selaginella, which has nice blue foliage color. It grows quite quickly as well, and is quite adapted to high humidity builds. We will then add in another white Vitonia to fill up the gaps. We will add in more Selaginella. Most plants are just small cuttings when placed in the terrarium, but they will establish themselves and root well in the high humidity environment of the terrarium. Also, I will add in a small trailing watermelon begonia in the terrarium. Now, we will add in some moss. So I decided to put some sphagnum moss in the background, as it can grow quite tall, quite quickly. And they can fill up more space quickly. And then I will add in some Java moss, which is growing in its immersed state. This moss thrives in high humidity, especially in terrariums. We will then spray down the terrarium with water for proper hydration. And then we will add in some springtails which acts as cleanup crews that will consume the mold. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching and please subscribe and like the video in order to support my channel.